Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Rose Thorn here. Today, I am reacting to not just Foodie Beauty's live stream, which is called I Figured It Out, in the comments section for that live stream. But I wanted to do something different and interesting and also informative. So, for those who are not aware, Monty did a panel yesterday, and he had a lot of different people on the panel. And there was someone on the panel. Her name is Hot as Bish 08, I think. And I'm glad that she came on the panel because Hot is someone in the adult industry. She's a sex worker, but her area of specialty is she's a BBW model, and she caters to the clientele that revolve around that. And she had a lot of very interesting, informative things to say about feeder clientele, because she has dealt with people who come to her for feeder content. Before anyone says anything about this person, I would like to say in advance that she is someone in the adult industry, but she is also someone that she's taking care of herself. She's losing weight. As she says on the panel, she's taking care of her health. She's making an effort to reduce her weight and to improve her health. So anyone listening to this panel, just know that beforehand before anyone prejudges. But she gives them a lot of information about that subset of what feeders are and what they want. And the reason why I'm including the panel in this live stream is because I've been saying for the longest that when I look at Foodie Beauty and I watch Foodie Beauty, I recognize that she's doing a lot of things that cater to the feeder clientele. She's doing a lot of things on YouTube that should be better suited for, say, a campsite or OnlyFans or something like that, because honestly, that's how it should be done. That kind of content belongs on an adult forum where only adults can view and comment and interact with the person catering to that content. She's using YouTube as a adult forum when it is not an adult forum, and she's doing content meant for an adult forum. So Foodie's live stream itself is a lot of the same stuff we've heard before, but I'm including the panel, or at least part of what was said on panel, for context. So those of you that, if you're curious about the feeder lifestyle or what feeders ask for, this panel is going to open your eyes a bit to what's really going on with Chantal, and the fact that a lot of her stuff, she's catering to the feeders. She is really catering to the feeders, and she's doing the cam girl thing or the sex worker thing on her YouTube page when she shouldn't be. So let me just go ahead and pull up the panel so you guys can listen. And by the way, this entire panel yesterday it was a lot of fun. It was such fun. I was there, as you can see. It was amazing. I'm going to leave a link for the video in the description for anyone who wants to watch the full panel. And I encourage you to do so because a lot of great topics were brought up. A lot of information was passed along to the audience. And it was entertaining. It was informative. It was an absolute blast to be part of that panel. And I want to thank Monty for allowing me to be on panel, to be part of that. And also all the wonderful people on Monty's channel were in the audience that were giving their thoughts and opinions and adding to the great conversation. So we're not going to watch the entire panel. I just want to get to the part that matters as far as the feeders conversation, the part where there's a lot of information about that. And I hope you guys can listen in. And I hope as you listen in that you keep an open mind and understand that there's a lot of different fetishes in the world. There's a lot of different people that have different tastes, different wants, different needs. My honest opinion, I don't support the feeder thing. Not a big fan of that. I look at that as something that it hurts the health of the person who's doing the feeding. Uh, I support the fact that hot ass that, you know, even though she's doing the content for those people, like she mentions little tricks that she does to kind of get around the fact that the things that she may eat may not be healthy. She talks about that here. But please keep an open mind when you listen to this panel. I'm a cam girl, so I have no problem with what hot ass does. She's catering to her people. But please listen in and please keep an open mind. This is simply to give illumination to the fact that when you're watching Chantal and some of the things that she does, like her house being dirty and wearing the too tight clothes and showing herself, what she's doing is she's doing adult content on YouTube that really should be left for, say, OnlyFans or a campsite. So let's listen into the panel and I will be giving my react to it as we go.
Hangy skin, and the men love it because it jiggles and it. So
She's talking about the belly rubbing. So in the feeder community, women showing their bellies or rubbing their bellies or jiggling their bellies, that's a thing. That's just a thing. The guys that want that kind of content like it.
I'm always playing with my belly. When I'm on cam, like that's all I do is I sit there and just jiggle my belly. And they tip me to jiggle my belly. They tip me to lift it up and drop it. They, like everything. Watching her on YouTube, she's doing the same shit I do on the website I stream on. It's the belly shaking. The belly shaking is a huge thing, and she tries to do it, but because her liver is so bad, she has really bad, like her belly is super hard, like you can tell, like it's so swollen, so she can't really jiggle it, and that's why she's gone to trying to do the fupa dance, right? So she does her fupa dance.
You know, I sorry to interrupt you, hot ass, but I was curious about, you know, Chantal, she's in the 400 to 500 pound range, and I would think that her belly would be very soft. But I was wondering, why is her belly just so incredibly solid? It's just, it doesn't move. And so I did some research, and part of the reason why her belly doesn't move is because she's got a lot of visceral fat, and that's fat that's packed so tightly around her organs, it literally, there's no give, you know, it just doesn't move. And this is bad for Chantal. Having that much fat packed around your organs it's bad for your organs, it's bad for your health. So I don't know why her belly is solid. I'm not a doctor, but I just did my research, and that could be part of the reason why she's so incredibly morbidly obese that she's got a lot of visceral fat packed so tightly around her organs that nothing can move.
Because like her belly doesn't move because of the swelling. So then the changing clothes thing. I have guys who specifically take me private to watch me change clothes. I will spend 30 minutes trying on, 50 different outfits for these guys. And she's just sitting there doing it for free or whatever tips that she can get, and it's just, it really is annoying to me as a person in this industry that she's on YouTube, because if I came on YouTube and tried doing that shit, they'd kick me off.
Yeah, and something I want to point out, and I called this long ago. Y'all have been watching on my channel for the longest. I called this long ago. I recognized the fact that she was catering to feeders. Remember all those torrid hauls she did? I noticed that when she did her torrid hauls, that when she would hold up the clothing and she would say the sizes of the clothing, 4 out of 5 outfits that she would show were in sizes that were way too small. And only one outfit was the correct size. And that was usually, like, say, her dress. She would buy a dress, like the floral dresses, y'all remember those that she wore to death? Those dresses were the correct size, but everything else was too small. And I was wondering, why is it that she's spending money on clothing that does not fit? Like, it just doesn't make sense. Why would you purposely buy things that are too small? Well, that's part of the feeder fetish. They want you to dress in clothes that are too tight and too small because it shows just how big you're getting. It shows how big you are. So 4 out of 5 outfits would be the incorrect size, and she would never really wear those clothes, would she? She would always wear that one outfit absolutely to death, to the point where we're sick of seeing it, Chantal, put on something else. Well, if you've only bought one thing and it's the correct size and you have nothing else at the time, you're going to wear that one thing to death. So even back then, Foodie was catering to the feeder fetish people, and I agree with Hot Ass here that a lot of people in our audience are feeder fetish clients. But where Chantal should be going onto a campsite or say OnlyFans and doing it the right way, because those are adult forums where she could find clients like that, she has picked an even bigger forum, a public forum like YouTube, and looking for clients that way. And whereas if you worked on, say, OnlyFans or a campsite, if you go through those sites, you have to give part of your money to the site. They just automatically take it out. She's doing it on YouTube where she gets more money. So a lot of her behaviors on YouTube are feeder fetish related. A lot of her content is based around the feeders. And when you look in her chat and you watch her chat, when you see those people that are encouraging her to eat more food, to get more paneer, to eat more of this or that, that's probably a feeder that she is attracted. And also notice, whenever she posts a video, she'll post her PayPal, she'll post her email. Y'all, that's not on accident, that's on purpose. She wants those feeders to communicate with her directly through email. And since she's got a PayPal, if somebody wants to pay for, say, some feeder content, or if they want to pay for a meal or something, they've got a direct line to feeders. She's got a direct line to her feeders, and she gets even more money because she gets 100% of the profit if they send her something through PayPal or Cash App. So let's get going.
As soon as someone, like Instagram, I can't even post a picture in semi-revealing clothing without them taking it down. I have 9 pictures on Instagram because every time I post, they get taken down for nudity because I'm fat. Even though all my parts are covered, it still gets taken down. But she gets away with, on YouTube, she gets away with, it's all adult content. You guys may not see it, you just think it's weird, but coming from my perspective, she's taking advantage of the system.
Yes.
And she's winning.
I don't know if you've had an opportunity to check out Rose Thorn's channel, but she has actually covered some of the stuff you're talking about. She has actually pointed out in her videos before. So
thank you.
I think it's great that you're here as well to be like, hey, I have experience in this. This is what I do.
Oh, also Hot Ass. I think someone had a question for you. They were asking, was like the burps and the farts.
Yes.
The thing is, guys, if you're in the industry, you recognize certain things. If you're not, you will not know about it. You won't think about it. So anybody who never considered this before, don't feel at fault for not recognizing it. It's just that because of the industry that I'm in, I've dealt with different kinds of people. I don't cater to the BBW stuff. That's not my thing. I don't have that going on. But if you're in the industry, you bump up against things that are different fetishes, different things. And so that's why I recognize a lot of what Chantal was doing, that she was catering to the feeders. Even as someone that I've had a problem with food, I recognized right off the bat that some of the things she was doing, like eating a big meal and then laying down for a few minutes to give her stomach time to digest just enough so that she could get back up and eat more food. That's that's something that you do if you are a binge eater and you just don't want to stop eating. And I also saw that as somebody bought her food that day and they did a feeder request and she had to eat as much as possible in order to make that person happy. So like there's different things crossing over each other. There are different things connecting, but Foodie is definitely catering to the feeder fetish people over there. That is her clientele. And those are the ones who pay the most. In some of her recent live streams, uh, like the paneer, there was one live stream that she did, and she said to people that somebody bought the paneer for her, and she's like, you know who you are. And I do remember a comment left on that particular live stream. A guy said in the comments, my paneer queen. So that was probably the feeder that actually paid for that. She also mentioned in another live stream that somebody was buying her clothes. So the feeders are probably buying her clothes as well. I mean, I'm telling you, this thing could be deeper and darker and more intense than any of us could imagine. She's a morbidly obese woman who's on YouTube doing content that is really meant for OnlyFans or a campsite. And she could easily make a lot of money on forums like that and get well paid. But Foodie also has an issue with attention. She likes attention. And if you're on an adult forum, you have to build up your clientele. She's lazy. She doesn't want to go on an adult forum and do it right. You know, take her time, build up the clientele and so forth. She wants a clientele right away. And what better place than a public forum where anybody can watch her and subscribe to her and communicate with her and possibly communicate with her through email and send the PayPal and the Cash App and all that. So that's why she sticks to YouTube, because she's too lazy. She doesn't want to go on an adult forum where she'd have to build up her clientele the right way. She's going to be on YouTube and do basically adult content and get away with it.
Okay. So this is a huge one. So like I said, these are all things as a BBW sex worker. These are normal things that I get requested all the time. I have videos of me farting. I have guys that they want it to be on command, you know, and it's all stuff that she does for free. The burping, I have guys who take me private just to have me burp, and I'm really good at it. I can sit here and drink a mineral water and burp for days, but she just is doing it for free. That's what I know.
What was it?
All of her followers, all the ones who actually like her, I believe, are clients.
Well, I know that was it that at one point I want to say.
Can I just say something? I know a lot of people listening to this react right now. You might be thinking, well, that's just gross, you know, somebody burping or farting on camera. Understand that there are different fetishes in the world. Some of them might be really strange or odd or weird. Different things get people going. And if you're someone you're saying, well, I just find that distasteful. I'm looking at this from an open mind, and I hope you do too. You don't have to be someone that you're into that. To look at this from an open mind and say there are different things in the world that maybe those of us in the world may not understand, we may not be into, but this is just, you know, some people are into different things. And I applaud this person for coming on panel and being as open as she is, because by having the courage to be open, she's passing forward information to the public to open everybody's eyes about things that Chantal is doing and why she's doing them. So you don't have to approve of somebody's lifestyle or what they do for work. To look at this from an open mind and say, I am here to listen and to be educated by what this person is saying and to understand some of the madness that is Chantal Marie. So let's keep going.
Say hungry fat chick. I don't know if you're familiar with who that is.
Yes. Okay. So
she had talked to Chantal.
Oh, did she?
yeah, she had talked to Chantal privately and was like, "Girl, why are you sitting here burping and farting for free, girl? You can make money off doing this shit." Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, no, like I remember she had said in one of her videos, I want to say it was Nikki Cotto, where she had said that she had talked to Foodie and was trying to basically give her some little business advice,
Right.
offline about what she could basically do as far as, selling all that shit. Because I'm like, girl, look,
So,
you can
what?
make good
Okay.
money.
Well, what she?
Yeah, okay, hold on. Sorry to interrupt again. For those who are not aware, Hungry Fat Chick, she has a channel on YouTube, a very, very big channel, and she caters to the feeders. But she does it in a different way than Chantal. She comes on camera and she does the feeder content. I believe she also has an adult forum somewhere. I've not dived deep into Hungry Fat Chick, but she has a channel on YouTube. She caters the feeders, but she doesn't come on camera with the drama and the toxicity. Her channel is called Hungry Fat Chick. She comes on camera. She eats food. She's I feel that she's a nice person. She doesn't come on camera being nasty to anybody. And notice that the reaction channels leave her alone. Even though she's very, very overweight, we leave her alone because we got no issue with Hungry Fat Chick. I mean, she's completely open and honest about who she is and what she does. She's like, hey, I'm a chick that gets on camera and eats, and that's all. And we're like, okay, I mean, you're doing your thing and you're being honest with it. Chantal, on the other hand, we cover because, it's not her being an overweight person that's a problem. It's her attitude. She's a nasty, evil, rotten, vile person. And that's why we cover her. But I guess Chantal and Hungry Fat Chick had a conversation where Hungry Fat Chick told her, look, you're doing all this stuff for free on YouTube and you could be getting paid elsewhere. So, Hungry Fat Chick was over there giving her business advice, but Chantal was like, hey, I'm on YouTube and this is the way I'm doing it and that's it and that's all.
So, but wait.
Fucking up the flow of money for workers because
Yep.
if they're doing it, if you're
Yes.
charging someone and she's doing it for free, they're going to go to the free chick.
Exactly.
So you need to respect the industry, Chantal, and actually separate that from your YouTube and put it strictly on your OnlyFans and charge people.
That's right. And that's the way it should be done because what Chantal is doing is adult content. It belongs on an adult forum. I mean, last night she was over the top. She actually showed her kitty cat. She had no underwear on. She just had a top on. She pulled her top up and she showed her naughty bits, like full on in view of everybody. She deleted that stream. There are clips of it on Twitter. You evil people on Twitter, why'd you show that to me? Doggone it. I don't want to see it. How dare you? But yeah, she comes on camera half naked, and she does that on purpose, y'all. She does that. I mean, everybody gets grossed out by Foodie coming on camera and in just her underwear. Trust me, she knows what she's doing. She's not just doing it for attention. She's doing it for the feeders. By coming on camera in just her underwear or her lingerie, that is something that you do for adult content. She's doing adult content on YouTube. And as a sex worker, as a cam girl, I'm like, look, adult content is on adult forums for a reason because it's for adults and only adults can view what you're doing. If you're on YouTube, you've opened up your content to the entire public, and there could be people watching you that are not adults. Adult content does not belong in a public forum, full stop. So I don't like Foodie getting on YouTube and doing adult content. I think it's very inappropriate. She basically does stuff that belongs on a campsite or OnlyFans or something else. And again, I'm glad we're having this conversation on this panel because I just want to show people when you're looking at Foodie and you're saying, why is she running around half naked? Why is she wearing clothes that don't fit her? Why is she wearing the belly shirts and stuff and all that? Why is she just being all out there like that? Well, now you guys are finding out why.
Right? That's what I'm saying. And I'm just gonna say that I have tried to tell her that, but she won't talk to me. So because it's the reality is that like I said, if she would just do things right,
Right.
everything would change. Like, she's so excited. She's made way fucking more money than she should have.
Yep.
And that's why she's going to continue to do this, because it's been proven to work for her. But if she would just do it right, then she could make so much more and wouldn't piss all of us off, you know?
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about that. Okay, does someone else want to talk now? Wait, I'll do this. Does anyone have any questions, like industry related, about what stuff she does? Because she does, everything she does is
Girl,
just,
I'm so glad you came on.
I
The
am glad
belly
too.
shirt, is that part of it too? Her purposely wearing the crop tops
Not the,
now?
not the
yes, no, dude. Okay, so when I said the other day on Sunday, the first thing she did on Sunday was wrap her shirt into a bikini and vacuum. Okay, so literally, I have customers who take me private to just do stuff around my house naked.
Mm.
So, you know, what she's doing is, everything she's doing is what my job is, except she's doing it on YouTube.
Yep.
Even the tight clothing? Like
Yes,
the
the horrible. Okay, let me tell you a fetish. I have a video of it's trying on too tight clothes. Men, there's a whole fetish genre of too tight clothes. So, like, struggling to get into them, they love that. Love it.
Wow.
I'm telling you, everything she does is a fetish. She does what these guys are requesting of her.
Wait
And
a second, Horace. Can I do that as well? Because I got too tight clothes.
fuck yeah, you can.
Yeah, so Foodie's always wearing too tight clothes or barely anything at all. I mean, how many times have we seen Foodie get on camera in her bedroom, or maybe not in her bedroom, and notice that it's always too tight clothes or any more? I've noticed recently that she's always wearing shirts that are too tight and show the bottom half of her belly. Or if she's not doing that, she wears the lingerie. I'm sorry, this is YouTube. Nobody should be getting on live stream in their lingerie. I don't care who you are. I don't care what size you are. That is stuff meant for an adult forum. Okay, she tries to find ways to get around YouTube rules, and she wears like the teddies and the negligees and stuff like that. That's for an adult forum, Foodie. That's not for YouTube. You should come on camera properly dressed. I'm not being a prude saying that. I'm saying because it's YouTube and it's a public forum and it's not adult only. If it were adult only, then I would have no problem. But this is a public forum, which means those who are underage could also see you. So that's what makes it wrong. The fact that you are not in the correct forum doing that. You're showing yourself to everybody. So she's coming on camera anymore dressed in shirts that don't fit her. And she's always making a point to, y'all remember those live streams where she'll be washing her dishes and she'll make a point to hoist her stomach up on the counter, feed her. I mean, there's so many things I can point out to you guys that I look at and I'm like, yeah, you're catering to feeders. Tight clothes, feeders, showing off the belly, feeders, coming on camera half naked, feeders, eating sloppy, letting the food drip down her mouth, feeders, all the moaning and the exaggeration of eating the food, feeders. Let's see. Talking about her fupa, feeders. Let's see, what else? I'm just trying to think of all the many things she's done. She's done so many things. Even how she exaggerates, like walking up those set of stairs, acting like she's having a hard time. Believe it or not, that caters to feeders too. You know, they want to see that you're having a hard time and you're so overweight that you can barely make a step. Feeders. And remember all those live streams where she was acting like, I can't move, I can't breathe. But yet when she was in Cuba, she walked around just fine, didn't she? So think about that. This person who walked all around Cuba without an issue, all those other live streams that she did, saying, I need a walker. I need a walker to walk. And I'm having trouble breathing. Feeders, trust me. There's so many different things that I could go through her live streams right now and write down every single thing she's done. And it's all catering to the feeders because she wants to attract those people. those people do pay money. And as I've said in many of my React videos, I feel that she caters to the feeders. YouTube only pays once a month. And we know that money burns a hole in Foodie's pocket. So she might be catering to the feeders before payday just to get that little extra bit of cash in hand, just so she's got something to spend on whatever it is she needs.
Yeah.
I'll set you up. I'll set you up, baby. I'm not even kidding you. There's a whole subset of guys who are into watching women struggle. And then of that subset, like struggle with ropes, struggle with clothes, there's different levels of struggle. It's so crazy to me. But like I said, I've been in this industry for 20 years on one level or another. So if you want to talk like adult industry shit, I'm your girl.
I mean, even I think someone once said that even like living in filth, that like people like that they want to see you live in like that filth, you know, because you're so fat you can't.
Yeah, you know what? This may blow people's minds, but as I said, there are fetishes for everything in the world. I mean, things you couldn't imagine being a fetish are fetishes. Things you couldn't imagine you would think would be a fetish are a fetish. So there's something for everybody. So the whole living in filth thing, that's a fetish too. And everything that Chantal does, everything that she is, she's catering to some kind of fetish. Trust me, she is. She is. It drives us all nuts here that are reactors, and those of you in the audience are like, why is this woman living in filth? And why does she do these things? You know, it just blows our mind that she can live like that. And again, if you're not part of the industry, if you haven't had exposure to that, or you know about that, your mind would never go to thinking that way. You wouldn't recognize that. But if you're someone in the adult industry, you will recognize it and go, yep, I see what you're doing. I see exactly what you're doing. I see what's going on here. You'll see things from a different point of view because you have that knowledge. If you don't have that knowledge, if you don't have that life experience, you're going to be like, what's wrong with this woman? She is foul in every way, and she just seems to enjoy it. Well, she could be enjoying it. That could be part of her personality. She's dirty, she's sloppy, but consider also that she's very gluttonous. She's very money hungry, and she's doing things purposely to attract a certain kind of audience to her channel. And the audience that she wants to attract are people with money that will give her money. I mean, she has a paywall on her YouTube channel. Nothing she does is for free. So it's like, you want to talk to Chantal, you got to pay the $5. And she doesn't like the cheap super chats anymore. It's all money related. All money related. She's all about making that money as much as possible. So she's going to cater her entire life and her lifestyle to catering to the clientele that pays the most.
Yes. That's part of the feeder thing. Okay, so what the feeder guys want is they want immobility. And so that includes not taking baths, not what I'm telling you, everything she does is fetish related. It's yes, the no bathing, the not taking care of herself, not picking up her clothes, all of that is part of the because there's gainers and there's immobilizers, right? And the immobilizers are the ones that she's targeting with that stuff. Yeah.
What's the difference between a gainer and an immobilizer?
The regular gainer just wants to watch you gain. The immobilizer wants to watch you die.
That was a dark thought, but she's right. In the feeder community, there are people that they want to watch you gain weight. The immobilizers, they want you completely immobile. They want you to a point where you can't even move. You can't even get out of bed. You're basically bedbound. And for those who are wondering, well, why would anybody in the world want that to happen? different feeders have different reasons. It could be if the feeder is insecure and they want the feedee to be immobile because they want that person to completely depend upon them. There are some feeders that they feel that by fattening up the feedee, which is the person being fed, they feel that if they get them really, really big, that that person will stay with them and there's no chance of them leaving. But there are people in the world that have a fetish of wanting a person to get so big that that person becomes completely dependent on them for everything. Everything, you know, as far as their care or doing things for them, they want that person completely immobile. And that's dangerous for Chantal because her health is getting worse by catering to those types of people. But she's not looking at her health, which should be the most important. She's looking at the dollar bills, and that could lead to disastrous results. You know, she could end up losing her life, but she's not thinking about her health. She's thinking about catering to as many people that are paying as possible. There are many fetishes in the world, but I don't approve of the feeder fetish just because I see it as something that in the end, the person that's catering to that fetish, it leads to worse and worse health and lack of quality of life. But I am glad that Hot came on panel, and because she's giving a lot of information. She's here to give information. And I hope that anybody listening to this panel right now with her, that you please don't look down your nose at her for being a sex worker or coming on here and talking about this. If you're someone and this is not your fetish, I understand that. It's not for everybody, but I'm glad that she's here because she's saying a lot of things that need to be said, and people need to be educated. If you're someone watching Chantal, you need to be educated about what you're looking at. So those of us watching Chantal, if you're saying, why does she do these things? And this whole lifestyle looks crazy, and it's just, I don't understand it. I'm showing this panel for the purpose of better understanding of what's going on here. What's going on with Foodie? Why does she do the things that she does? And why does she continue to do them? When she's got a YouTube channel and she's making so much money, and she could easily just turn things around and change the quality of her life and be a happier person. As I've said many times, Foodie is not interested in a better quality of life. She's not interested in being healthy. She's not interested in losing weight. Because if she changed her life, if she gave herself a better quality of life and she did things to better herself, that would mean that all the feeder fetish people that are on her channel right now that she has attracted would go away and she wouldn't have as much money. Could she be on YouTube and not cater to those people and do very well? Of course she could. Absolutely. You know, she wouldn't just be penniless if she didn't cater to them, but she is so caught up in the money train and making it run as fast and as profitable as possible that her health has taken a back seat. But when you're looking at you at Foodie Beauty, now you're understanding more of what you're looking at and why she's doing the things that she's doing. You know, yeah, she's a lazy, dirty person, but there's something at work here. She's catering to people for a reason and for a purpose. She's very methodical. She's very diabolical. She's very manipulative. She's on YouTube manipulating her audience and just trying to attract as many of the feeder fetish people as possible because those are the ones who pay the most money.
You know, they want to see you get, they want to see you get so fat that you can't get out of bed, you can't brush your hair, you can't do nothing. But now, along with that, a lot of them want to be the caretaker in that situation. Like Jean, right? With what's her name?
Life of Jen.
Yeah, like her man. I think he's in that, the feeder part. He's not an immobilizer, but he wants to assist. That's part of his kink, is feeder assistant. Trust me, it's a whole subset genre. I'm not kidding you. These are all things that I get asked for on on a regular basis.
Wow. That's just
crazy, right?
Ooh, it is.
Mm-hmm.
But when you say like the whole like immobilizer really wants you, like that
they want you to die.
They really want you to die, and they get some type of pleasure out of that.
They do.
That is so sick.
The human mind.
That's what I'm saying. There is for what everything that's weird out there, there's stuff even weirder.
Yep.
People are so weird, and being in this industry, you get to see how weird people can be.
Wow.
Like natter is what we call a hobosexual. So
wait, that's a thing.
Yes, he's a hobosexual.
Okay, because I want to clarify something. By her calling Natter a hobosexual, she is in no way slandering anybody who is gay. She's not calling him a homosexual. She's calling him a hobosexual. And she's going to explain that in a minute. She's not slagging anybody who happens to be gay. She's using a different term. She's using the term hobosexual, not homosexual, hobosexual.
I need an explanation.
Yeah, a hobosexual is a man who takes advantage of women in order to have all of his needs taken care of.
Yes,
that's Natter.
Him.
Yep.
Definitely Natter.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's necessarily a kink for him, but he really is a hobosexual, like on every level. Wow. Oh, I say no to stuff all the time, Canby. There's a lot of stuff I don't do. There's a lot of stuff I won't do. Yeah, licking her fingers is a big one.
Yep.
That's a part of it.
And I told you guys, I've been calling this for the longest, the licking of the fingers, and Chantal herself. I remember a live stream she did a long time ago. Remember those live streams, those videos she did where she was using the really big wooden spoon and the wooden fork? You want to know why she was doing that? Because one of her feeders, one of his pet peeves, was somebody using a metal fork or metal spoon and the sound of the metal on the plate. So somebody actually bought Chantal a wooden spoon and a wooden fork for her to eat with because he just didn't want to hear the sound of the metal on the plate. He didn't like that sound. So there again, she was catering to the feeders all the way back then. I mean, there's so many things that she's done. My God, I could just go through her live streams and point out different things to y'all. I'm like, yep, that's what she's doing it for. That's who she's catering to. Called it. But I called it because of the industry that I'm in and just bumping up against other different genres and subsets and different kinds of people and different fetishes and whatnot. She is catering to the feeders big time. All of her content catering to the feeders, especially now because people are not sending the super chats like they used to. So what is she doing? She's doing live stream after live stream after live stream after live stream after live stream. She'll spend 6 to 9 hours a day on live stream. And you look at her content now and she's showing off her belly and wiggling her belly, wearing the too tight clothes, and the shirts that she wears don't cover her belly all the way. And being gross and chewing with her mouth open and making the noises with food. Feeders, every single thing she does anymore, catering to feeders. There's not a single thing that Chantal does in her live stream that isn't feeder related. Her crowd are the feeders, 100%. Or if they're not, she's hoping that 3/4 of her audience are feeder fetish people, because those are the ones who will stay on her channel and give her the most money. If not through super chats, then by way of Cash App or PayPal or something like that. She is getting paid for feeder fetish content, y'all. She is. Whether by eating something or showing something or doing something, it's feeder fetish content.
Well, this is a lot. Thanks for,
Sorry.
I guess we might have to do another.
I've had so much to say, so I don't mean to like vomit it all out on you, but yeah. So if anyone has any other questions, I'm gonna step back.
Oh no. What?
Okay. Yes, homosexuals. Okay. Oh yeah, the feet kissing. That's a thing.
Not
yeah.
The feet, child, the feet kissing.
I'd like to say something. Hot ass. I'm also a cam girl.
Yep, that's true.
Oh, cool.
I've been one for over 20 years. I've been
nice.
20 years, and I can confirm everything you're saying is true. That there are people that have the feeder fetish, and I said that on my channel that she is catering to the feeder fetish people, like hardcore with the too tight clothing. Anybody remember all those torrid hauls that she did? Notice that almost all except for one item would be too small. And I called that she was catering to the feeders by doing that, because by putting on the too tight clothes that she was catering to that. And
I think she sells her clothes too.
Probably.
I think she wears them and she sends them to people for tips.
She's on the burping, the farting, the showing
Yep.
the belly and everything, and I've always thought she had a humiliation, degradation fetish. That might play into it too.
Part of it. I think it's more of she just has low self-esteem. I think just no one ever told her that she could be a good person, like that she could have the good things in life.
I have to disagree with you, Hot Ass. It's not that nobody ever told her that she was a good person. It's just that she's not interested in being a good person. There have been many, many people on her channel that they try to give the positive reinforcement to Chantal. They've come forward with positive comments and reinforcement, and there have been so many people over the years that they've tried to give her good advice about her health, about go ahead and go for a walk, Chantal, and do this and that to improve yourself, Chantal. She's not interested. So many people have tried to help her. And beyond that, Chantal has the income, she's got the means, she's got the resources that she could easily better herself, and she's not interested. She's caught up in the money. She's caught up in catering to those horrible feeders over there that just push her to eat more and more and more and more. I've seen live streams with Chantal where she would sit there and be eating a meal. And while she's eating a meal, people in her chat are telling her to order more food. She'll sit there and tell people, I'm full, I'm full, I'm full. And they'll be like, well, go get an ice cream and go get some more food while she's eating. Or after she's eaten a big meal, be like, go ahead and get some dessert. I remember a live stream that Chantal did where she sat there and she was full. She ate so much food, she kept telling everybody, I'm full, I'm full, I'm full. And then they were like, go get an ice cream, go get an ice cream. So she drove to get an ice cream cone. And Chantal, I see you over here, ma'am. You were so full that you knew you couldn't finish it. So what she did was she took her hand and she scooped out part of the ice cream and she threw it on the ground next to her car. Y'all remember that? You know why she did that? Because she was just that full. She couldn't finish it. That was her way of like, look, I can't do all of this, so I'm going to get rid of half of it so I can finish it because people are urging me to eat. Yeah. So I see the feeders over there. So we ordering food constantly, and the feeders want to see you eat constantly. And she'll sit there and she'll be eating one meal and already talking about more food while she's eating. She won't even wait until her meal is over She'll order more food while she's eating food. I mean, it's just crazy. As someone that I've dealt with binge eating, I want Chantal, and it's scary. I get scared for Chantal. She's a horrible person. She's evil. But watching her do that behavior on YouTube, it's scary because I'm like, I just want to walk over to her and take the food away from her and say, that's enough. You are full. You don't need to eat anymore. Cut it out. But what she's doing with that is she's catering to those stupid freaking feeders that all they care about is her shoveling food in her mouth. They don't care if something happens to her medically, if she ends up in the hospital or she has a stroke. But it's just, as a decent human being, as a person that I've dealt with binge eating, it's just beyond scary to watch.
She could have someone who loves her, but she chooses not to. So maybe that is her kink.
I'd like to back it with saying that, you know, the sex work is very, very hard, and you've got to establish honesty and that they can trust you. But she's
yeah, your client base will stick with you for years. If they can trust you and they know they're going to get what they want, then there you go. You know, they will follow you forever. But you fuck them off, fuck them over, then, you know, what are you going to do? That's going to make not only that whole situation bad, but the next girl that he goes to, he's not going to trust her.
That's right. That's absolutely right. That is so correct. That if you are a bad girl and you scam people and that person goes to somebody else, they're going to have to work 3 times as hard to get that person's trust. I can confirm that all day long. I've dealt with people like that. Like, oh, so-and-so ripped me off. So, you know, like, and I'm sorry, that wasn't me. I didn't do it. Don't punish me for somebody else's crime. It sucks. But Chantal, that's another reason why she will never go to, say, OnlyFans or an adult site, because she would not be able to get away with ripping people off the way she does on YouTube. She would be held accountable. She would lose her clientele, because once you rip somebody off once, that's it. They're not going to pay you for anything ever again. But on YouTube, she's got an endless audience of people always coming in, always new people joining up for memberships and sending her super chats, people that don't know about her history, people that have no idea about Chantal. Not everybody in her audience is a longtime viewer that know her ways and know who she is. You got new people that just wander onto YouTube, find Chantal, and they join up as a VIP. And it takes a little bit of time for them to figure out who she is. But by that time, they might have already given Chantal money in the way of memberships or super chats. She could never do what she's doing on YouTube on an adult site, because, you know, once word gets around that you're a bad girl and you rip people off, that's it. You're done. Go ahead.
Does that mean that a lot of the people viewing her are feeders?
Yeah.
That's why the view count won't go down.
Correct.
All right, go ahead, Rose.
I want to address, Whimsical had a question. She says, do you ever feel unsafe with someone? And if so, how do you deal with clients like that? Well, I deal with people online. I don't deal with people in person. But if you ever start to get a client that's obsessive, that's when you got to cut them loose and say, look, I just can't talk to you anymore, and you block them. And you get those sometimes, but you know, as a person, like, when it's time to cut things off, because they're not just simply taking the hint that they're never going to meet you and they're never going to do anything with you. But you know when it's time.
Right.
Time. But something that I wanted to say a little while ago, a couple of people were saying in chat that Foodie is stupid, that she's not capable of scamming people. This is what I have. This is what I have to say. You don't have to have a 200 IQ to know how to scam people. You just got to know how to. You know, she's been scamming for years, even before she was a scammer when she was young. It's just that she got on YouTube and she figured out the system. She started paying attention to what made her money, what got the views, and she would just note everything down. And so she's just been spinning this huge web of lies and deception since then. Like, she knows what makes her money. She knows that drama and controversy for her are where it's at. So she just found a partner to scam with, and that's Natter. So as far as her putting together scams and schemes, you got to understand it's not just her thinking this stuff, it's Natter. So you got 2 scammers coming together, and they're just and
Dee Dee. Let's not forget Dee Dee. She's part of this whole equation too.
I feel that her, Natter, Dee Dee, and Pete's are all in it together.
Yes.
Yes. If they're not scammers,
they all play their parts.
They're not the scammers. They are accomplices to
right.
So they're just as bad. You know, they're basically co-signing on all this stuff. But you know, Chantal even said in her Pa's in-laws live stream, and you guys can go look this up. When people asked her, "Have you ever thought about what would happen if Natter wanted to leave you?" and she said, "I think about it all the time." And then she leaned in close and she says, "I have a plan." And then she said, "I'm not as stupid as you guys think." She was telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
The greatest scam she's ever put on the public is making people think that she's stupid. Because when you think somebody's stupid, you won't think they're capable of scamming people to a high level. You know, you'll let your guard down thinking, oh, that they're not capable of that. Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
Mm-hmm.
Persists. And she also very successfully put out to everybody, oh, he's the scammer and he's taking advantage of me. No, they're both grifters. She painted half a picture on purpose so that everybody would look at that half and not look at her half of what was going on. He gets money from her, but guess what, y'all? She grifts people for money before that happens. So who's the bigger grifter? Who's the bigger scammer? Foodie, not Natter. He gets the money, but she gives it to him. And how does she do that? By scamming people, by setting up paywalls, getting people to pay, not doing content. Yep, sure does. So
exactly.
You got to look at the whole picture. Foodie she's not smart in some ways, but she's super smart in ways she shouldn't be.
She's just super calculated. And once she finds something that works, she sticks with it.
Yep.
And she will rearrange the same situation over and over and over again as long as it keeps paying her.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, you know, everyone talks about the cycles. We all have been watching the cycles for a year. We know the cycle. You know, this week they're in love, in a week and a half they're out of love, you know, whatever. It's just utterly ridiculous. And it's just, at some point it needs to stop. Like the narrative, like I said, we need to change the narrative. The narrative needs to change.
You know, it's not even a cycle anymore. It's a freaking circle.
Right. It's repeating and repeating and repeat. It's a broken fucking record. Like, I'm so fucking over it. I'm so sick of it. I know, but I keep watching. Why? Because you just can't believe someone is like this. Like, every time you think it's, you know, it can't get worse, it does. The fact that she's on here back with him on camera just blows my mind. Like, the way that she just thinks people forget everything. And the fact is because she's on all the time, we do. We forget all of it. We forget who she is. We forget what she does because we're just looking at right now.
Well, that's because Foodie is a master of deflection. You know, with Foodie being the way that she is and the things that she does, because of all the drama, everything switching from one side to the next side, to the next side, to the next side, you know, the ping-ponging back and forth, that's deflection. You know, like she'll take one situation and then she'll make another situation and get everybody's focus on the situation that happens after, to where everybody forgets about the first situation. Like she's always ping-ponging back and forth on purpose. Because by doing that constantly, it makes everybody forget about what they were mad at to begin with. You know, like y'all remember that whole situation with Pete's not changing the litter box? Everybody was mad about that. But on the heels of that, she did something else to make people even forget about the whole situation with the litter box, and the litter box is not being changed for 3 months. You know, she's constantly ping-ponging everything around to where she keeps everything so spun that you can't keep up. You know, you can't remember to be mad about certain things because new things have already popped up. So constant manipulation, deflection. Okay, your attention is over here, but I'm going to put it over here to where you'll forget about why you were mad in the first place. She's always doing that. When people get mad at her, she will blow up and then she'll turn off the comments for a while. And then when she gets the feeling that everybody has forgotten about what they were mad at, she'll turn the comments back on. Notice that? She plays that little game too. Oh, you're mad at me. I don't want to hear it. So I'm going to create a diversion and get your attention on that. And then when I think your attention is on that and you're focused on that and you forgot about what you're mad about in the first place, I'll turn the comments back on, because then I'll know that the heat is off. Yeah, I'll make you mad at me for one thing, and then after that one thing, I'll get you mad at me for something else. And once your attention is on that something else, then the coast is clear because you won't remember what you were mad at to begin with. And then I know that I've successfully kind of duped you. I've led you in the direction that I want you to go in. You know, like she's always doing that. She's always like flipping things around, moving things around. Things are never stagnant with Chantal. There's always constant drama, 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 drama. She does it on purpose. You know, she's dodging and weaving everybody's anger in different directions, and just using all of that to her advantage to make money. That's what she does. She's a manipulator and she's a scammer. And I'm really glad that Hot came onto the panel. She expressed herself very well. And as I'm saying to everybody in this react video, and because it's been about an hour, I think I'll save the react to Chantal's live stream for yet another video, because this one's already at an hour. But thank you, Hot, for having the courage to come on panel and say these things to people, to shed some light on the goings on with Miss Chantal. And I will be very happy to have you on panel one day when you decide to make a channel. Be very happy to talk to you, because I think the way that you expressed yourself on this panel, you are very articulate, you are very informative, you spoke very well, and I applaud you for all of that and more. And I applaud the fact that you are making changes to your life to where you're healthier and you're taking care of yourself. And I urge everyone to not be closed-minded about the fact that she's a sex worker, she's in the industry, and I'm a sex worker too, I'm in the industry. So I'm looking at this from an open mind, and I hope that all of you do too. So that's it for my react to this panel, and I encourage everyone to go over to Monty's channel and watch the full panel, because it was informative, it was very entertaining, it was very funny, and I just want to show this portion to open everybody's eyes to why Chantal acts the way that she does. When you look at her now, maybe you'll see some of the things that I have seen and Hot has seen, because we've been part of the industry. You'll recognize her behaviors for what it is. You know, is she a gross, disgusting, lazy person? Yes, she is. But a lot of her behaviors on YouTube, which again should be done on an adult form because that's what it's meant for. A lot of her behaviors, a lot of the things that she does is catering to a genre of people because they pay her well. So that's it for this react video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this. Please look for the link for the full panel in the description. And I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Please take care and bye-bye.